The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Business Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericabusiness.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the hosts or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
In the past few years, we've heard the term free agents and been told we would all need to become one in order to succeed. The recent economic structures have helped to promote this concept as reality. Where do we get the tools to take control of our career path in the present and future? Welcome to The Career Confidant with your host, Marie Zimenoff. Marie and her guest experts are here to provide you with the tools you need to move forward and achieve your career goals. Now, here is Marie Zimenoff.
Welcome to the Career Confidant. This is your host, Marie Zimenoff, and we're happy that you've joined us here again for another great topic in career development. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook. There's been a lot of Facebook in the news in terms of them launching or getting ready to launch a jobs listing similar to what LinkedIn is doing and trying to get into that space of job search. Now, this has been happening for a while, and actually Facebook has been involved in the hiring world for a while. So the fact that they're launching a separate or partner app to do it is good, but it's been happening for quite a while. Now you might think, well, why are they doing this? Doesn't LinkedIn do it all? Isn't LinkedIn the place to go and are looking for a job? And of course that is true. LinkedIn is a great place to go when you're looking for a job. It's where professional networking happens. However, recruiters have been using Facebook throughout the job search cycle or hiring cycle for a while. And you may think, well, they just go there to look and make sure that you don't have anything stupid up there after you apply, right? Well, yeah, that's one way that they're using Facebook. But hiring managers are also using Facebook on the front end to recruit people, to build their brand image, to engage with potential employees, and they are actually doing advertising there to get people to apply to their positions already, even though it's not an official thing. They've been doing that for a long time. And so this hiring piece of Facebook has been going on, and people have been looking at your Facebook profile for that reason for a long time, not just to make sure you haven't done anything bad, but to actually see how you might align with their brand. And there are some proactive ways that you can use Facebook that make sense. They're still in line with what Facebook does in your job search. And so let's talk a little bit about numbers and kind of set the stage before we go anywhere here. So in the 2015 study by JobVite does a study every year. They reach out to recruiters and ask them how they're recruiting. The one from 2016 wasn't real great in terms of how the data was presented, so it wasn't as easy to understand as the 2015, where it was very clear that 92% of recruiters use social media. Of those 92% that are using social media, 87% are using LinkedIn. So of course, that's somewhere we want to be. We talk about that a lot in this show. 55% of them, however, are using Facebook. And again, that's not just to screen you out. They're using Facebook in a lot of different ways. In fact, when you look at how recruiters are marketing their jobs, 74% of them want to use social media to have a visible brand. And that is not just LinkedIn. They're using Facebook pretty heavily in that branding area because branding is much more easily done on Facebook for a company because people are there more frequently. So the average monthly users of Facebook is much, much higher than the average monthly user base of LinkedIn. Yes, there's a lot of people on LinkedIn, but they're not going to their profiles very frequently, something LinkedIn is trying to change. But companies are using Facebook to engage with people because people are more engaged on Facebook. And of course, Instagram and some of those other mediums, depending on the audience and age group you're trying to reach. So that's why Facebook matters. Recruiters are using it. They are going there to make sure your profile doesn't have any red flags, but they're also using it to proactively interact with you. And if you are in proactive job search, which of course, we recommend here on the Career Confidant, Facebook is actually a great place for you to interact with an employer because there aren't as many barriers. It's a much more flat structure in terms of who you can connect with and who you can interact with. You don't have to, ask to be a company's friend, for instance. You can just like their company page and then you can interact with them. And one of the recruiters that I met a few years back, this is one of the things he does, is travels around and helps companies use Facebook for their recruiting. And one of the things that he had organizations doing, and it was actually a municipality, that was having a weekly Facebook chat with anyone who was interested in working there. So it was just on their page. It wasn't in a private chat or anything. On their page, the recruiter would get on and start a discussion, and then anyone who wanted to could go and post on that discussion. It was very public, very transparent, and to a lot of companies, that's very appealing because that's what job seekers are looking for. They're looking for that transparency. They're looking for that ability to interact with people in a more authentic way because that's how our communication is going. People are expecting more authentic and open communication. So, of course, beyond those statistics in terms of people recruiting there are a lot more users and regular users on Facebook. So it gives us the opportunity to connect with more people if we're a company. And if you're just getting started, the first thing I would recommend is going on to Facebook and start searching both in the companies or pages area. You can just start searching for companies, and then you might actually search for company career pages. So, for instance, if you're interested in working for Sprint, you could search on Facebook and see if Sprint has a Facebook page. If they do, you could search and see if they have a careers page. Some of the more famous careers pages are things like Disney has a really good careers page on Facebook. And Home Depot is one of the organizations that uses Facebook a lot to advertise positions. And I also see a lot of information from the railroad. It's, you can kind of catch on to which companies are using this to interact with their constituency because they are posting in your feed. You'll see their advertisements go by if you pay attention. They're subtle in Facebook, which is nice, I think. But as you see those sponsored posts, notice that some of them are for jobs. Home Depot, it uses it a lot. The railroad industry, maybe some of your local companies companies use Facebook to advertise their positions because you can target so easily with Facebook advertising. It's very easy to target the age group, interests, geography. And so when you're thinking about, why would employers be there on Facebook? Why would they care? That's part of it, is because there's a good database behind it. And LinkedIn is actually trying to catch up to that with Microsoft's acquisition. They're trying to get their data to be as strong so that they can probably create the same kind of advertising strength that Facebook has. But right now, that's who's winning that war. So go on to Facebook and check, are the companies you're interested in on Facebook? Do they have a Facebook page? And then do they specifically have a careers page? Do they have a page just for their recruiting? And when you're doing your search, when the results come up, the top line there underneath your search gives you all the different things you can look at. It says posts, people, photos, videos, pages. So you do your search, and then right underneath the blue bar, you have all of these different buttons: posts, people, photos, videos, pages. And you can look at pages. You can also look at groups. So if you're searching by company, you can see what's there. It'll probably most likely be under pages. Do a little poking around, see if the companies that you're interested in are on Facebook. Do they have a careers page? Do they seem to be using their careers page? Is it active? And what do they have going on there? There may be even opportunities just to connect with them, similar to what you can do, you can do on Twitter in terms of following. See who's there, and that'll also give you an idea of if it makes sense to worry about your Facebook as much. Maybe it's just being used to screen you out, which we'll talk about here in our next segment. Your profile, what your profile can look like. But there may be an opportunity to engage that you haven't really thought about. And so I encourage you to go to Facebook, search your companies, search those companies' careers, just, Starbucks careers, and see if they have a careers page. It gives you the opportunity to see if those individuals and companies are actually using LinkedIn. The other thing you can do before you decide if you want to worry about Facebook too much or not is search groups based on interests. So, if you are into software development, for instance, and you could get really specific if you wanted to, you can search that, and then along that top filter line where it has posts, people, photos, videos, places, you'd click on groups and see what kind of groups there are of people who are in software programming, for instance. And a great way just to see what types of groups are out there. Pages might also have some pages that you might want to check out. For instance, Microsoft Developer has a page, Facebook for developers. So there might be an opportunity to like some pages based on your industry as well as companies, and then see if there are any groups that make sense for you to join based on your industry as well as your companies that you're interested in. Then you have the same opportunity that you'd have in LinkedIn to network within that group, answer questions, do all of those things that you would do in LinkedIn. You can do the same things in Facebook groups. So step one, do you care? Do the research. Are your companies there? Are they using it? Watch your Facebook feed. Are they advertising jobs in Facebook? Are there groups that make sense based on your companies of interest or your industry or industry of interest? a great place to start to see if it's worth your while. We're going to take a short break, come back and talk about your Facebook profile and, a little bit more depth than just, yes, you want to worry about what you post, but we're going to talk about the other aspects of your profile and ways that you can use it to be more proactive in your search and to really help those around you who might be your friends and family on Facebook. As you are searching and networking, a lot of times we forget those people who are close to us and can help us. So we'll talk about how you can use Facebook to do that when we get back in just a few minutes.
Voice America Business Network, the bottom line in business. You know that the career landscape has changed and that you need to be proactive about managing your career. You can have the foresight, skills, and confidence you need to take charge of your career and seize opportunities. A strategic advantage and career expert, Marie Zimenoff has helped thousands of leaders like you get focused, get found, and get hired. Visit getcareersmart.com to find out more. That's getcareersmart.com or call 800-521-2080 to schedule your complimentary consultation.
Each week, Larry Sternberg joins Dr. Kim Turnage to explore management issues from culture to discipline in Managing to Make a Difference. Join Talent Plus for 60 minutes of dynamic conversation, including real-life management examples helping you manage teams across the globe. This series airs on Voice America, the business channel, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Managing to Make a Difference every Thursday afternoon with Larry Sternberg and Dr. Kim Turnage.
What can we do to prepare for a career-altering interview or presentation, land an important deal, or simply play a great game of golf? These activities depend on preparation and execution, which grouped together we call performance. Uncover the mysteries of our mind and unlock the secrets of great performance by illuminating the mental side of life. When we better understand why we do the things we do and what keeps us from accomplishing our goals, we elevate our success. Listen for The Mental Game of Life with Dr. Christie, Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific on Voice America Business.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's Voice America TRN.
You are tuned in to The Career Confidant with Marie Zimenoff. If you have a question or comment for Marie or her guest today, please call 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. You may also send an email to marie@astrategicadvantage.com. Now, back to The Career Confidant.
Welcome back to The Career Confidant, and today we're talking about Facebook and it's creeping into the job search, but really it's been there for a while. It's been there in terms of companies using it to advertise, to get you to like their company page, and guess what? When you do that, they can keep track. They've used it to advertise jobs very specifically, or maybe a little more generally if they're trying to build their employer brand. And yes, they do use it in the hiring process to vet you as a candidate. And that's kind of the reactionary part of it, which we'll talk about here. But there's this proactive part of it too, that our friends and family are our inner circle, right? And we have people on our Facebook page, hopefully, who aren't just friends or family, but maybe colleagues that we know really well, colleagues that we have been connected to for a while. And those people, when they stay in contact with us personally, more personally, they're going to be a good network for us, right? They're not the people that we're going to go, oh, I don't know if I can go ask this person for help. It's been so long since I talked to them. So Facebook gives you an opportunity to stay connected with people by networking with them. It's just in a different format, and it's actually in a more personable and authentic format that people like. It's why people go there more often than they go to LinkedIn, right? I care more about what's going on with your family and those types of things than the articles you may be sharing on LinkedIn, which are relevant professionally, but really aren't that captivating. And, Facebook definitely has its challenges. But it's interesting when the elections happened and people here in the U.S. were having a hard time with all of the political stuff going on there. Some people I know got off, and almost all of them have come back and said, I miss seeing the pictures of my friends, my family. I miss being able to share pictures of my family with my friends and family. I think that it's getting back to that core purpose. And so you say, well, then why would I use it to job search? It's not necessarily that we're using it to job search, but that we're using it to maintain relationships, which is really what networking is, not for the purpose of getting anything, but because we want to maintain relationships with these people. And that opens the door for a two-way conversation, both when we need help and when we don't. And also, a lot of times we're afraid to ask for help when people really do want to help us, and Facebook can help us do that. Any social network or relationship can help us do that. So when you think about your Facebook profile, let's talk first about your actual profile. So when you click on your name in Facebook, you can click on your name either up at the top, kind of beside the search bar, and it takes you to your profile page. On this page, you have the opportunity to have a profile picture, which is little kind of headshot guy, and then you have a cover photo, a nice big photo that you can have on there, a background photo, kind of like LinkedIn. I recommend that you stick with something personable here, although you can put something that's somewhat professional. We don't want to overdo that on Facebook because, again, it's Facebook. So pick something that maybe has a good mix of that personal and professional, and what you want to share about your personal could be somewhat strategic. I've decided these kinds of things I'm comfortable sharing, or it could be authentic, and would be best for everyone to be authentic, but I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. So if you need to think about what categories of things you'd be comfortable sharing on Facebook, that's perfectly fine. At least it'll get you started. So when you scroll down on the left side, you have the opportunity to create an intro. This is a very short introductory sentence, really, that you can use to write a little bit about yourself. Again, thinking about that this is Facebook and it's a personal place, you can put in some of the professional, mix it together. What do you want people to know about you, both personally and professionally? How can you put those two things together so that people get a picture of who you are, and it makes sense to your family and friends, that they go, oh yeah, this is what Marie does, and this is, who she is, some other things that she brings to the table, or other interests that she has, or whatever. Write it in a first person tone, so I, me, my, and like you would talk, you make it conversational. Then as you go down that left side of the page, you have the opportunity to edit your jobs, customize your intro, say what shows up there and what doesn't. And if you click on the little edit symbol that shows up as you hover over the right side of any of those items, you'll get the opportunity to adjust what shows up there. What workplaces do you want to show? Do you want to show where you currently live or not? Do you want to show when you joined Facebook or not? You can adjust all of that using those tools. Then you have this little cluster of pictures right under your intro and kind of your outline. And you can click on the edit button in the top right of that collection of pictures, and you can choose which pictures to feature. So this is an interesting feature that they've come up with where you can go through and change your pictures to highlight different pictures. So what do you want people to know about you right away? Here are some opportunities to change that picture that people see. So that's kind of the snapshot visual. Then you can go back up, and under your cover photo, kind of right beside your profile picture, there's a button that says Timeline, and then there's a button that says About. And when you click on the About, that gives you the opportunity to customize all of the pieces of your profile. So you can go through your work and education, adding your workplaces, very simple, easy step. You can put in some content about those places. Keep it first person, keep it conversational, doesn't need to be too long. Some keywords there are important, but it's not like LinkedIn where shoving a whole bunch of keywords in there is going to be really helpful. It's more about it being conversational and quick for people to understand what you do. So if your friends or family and they are poking through here and maybe they know someone who's hiring somebody and they think you do something kind of like that, could they come to your profile and read your profile and know if they should bug you? Right? I mean, that's the number one thing I would think about. If my friends or family wanted to have someone help them with their career and they didn't know if I really did that, what did I do? Could they come to my profile and look at it and see if it would make sense to reach out to me? Simple, easy, conversational. Then you can add, if as you scroll down, you can add details about you. That's kind of like your bio. Take your LinkedIn summary, cut it down by, almost 3/4, make it short, conversational, a little bit about what you do, and then, what else do you want people to know about you? You can put in how to pronounce your name. You can put in quotes. There's lots of things you can put in there. Then as you just scroll down, you'll see that it shows all of your friends. It shows your photos, shows your videos. And then it starts to show things that you're interested in. So mine has sports teams, music, movies, TV shows. I'm not very good at tagging any of these things, so you won't see anything in movies, TV shows, or books. But those are all opportunities for you to have some personality. So if I was a hiring manager and I came to look at your profile and, I check your feed and see there's nothing bad there in terms of you being mean or disrespectful or blatantly drunk in public, then I could actually come in here and say, movies, TV shows, books, what is this person like? And when people get to that point that they're either interviewing you or they've got it down to the pool of people that they've interviewed, and then they're going back and doing this kind of review, they are looking at more than just the negative. Of course, the negative can get you in trouble, but they're also looking for ways to figure out if you are a good fit for their company. So don't get too carried away whitewashing your page. Don't forget that there's opportunities there for you to show more about who you are and give them an opportunity to see something good that connects with them, that shows them who you are, because they probably will overlook even a little bit of something that is a bad if there's something good there that clicks. So it's really our opportunity to be multidimensional when they're doing their Facebook research, which we know a lot of companies are going to do. So it's okay to have a personality, go into your profile, fill out the details, and then see if there's other things you want to add, sports, movies, music. And of course, go through your photos, make sure that you've cleaned those up, especially the ones that people have tagged you in. So that will show up in its own separate section. Photos of you, those are ones people have tagged you in. And you can untag yourself in any of those that you'd like to. You don't have to keep those in your profile if you don't want to. You simply remove the tag, edit or remove the tag, and voila, there you go. It's no longer in your profile. So we're going to take a short break and come back and talk a little bit more about how you could proactively use Facebook to advance your career. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
The business community's first choice in Internet Talk Radio. Voice America Business Network.
You know that the career landscape has changed and that you need to be proactive about managing your career. You can have the foresight, skills, and confidence you need to take charge of your career and seize opportunities. A strategic advantage and career expert, Marie Zimenoff has helped thousands of leaders like you get focused, get found, and get hired. Visit getcareersmart.com to find out more. That's getcareersmart.com or call 800-521-2080 to schedule your complimentary consultation.
If you want to hone the right skills to become a CEO or stay there as a competitive strategic leader, check out CEO Academy with Pam Lassiter. You'll learn the tips to success and hear from the experts who are at the top of their games. You'll make your company stand out from the competition and build your own reputation in the process. Top executives are made, not born. So take charge of your future growth. Listen for CEO Academy with Pam Lassiter. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Voice America Business.
Tune in to The Soul of Enterprise, Business in the Knowledge Economy, with co-hosts Ron Baker and Ed Kless. Ron and Ed will show you how to recognize that wealth is created by intellectual capital. It's all in the possibilities that we can create and that are created for us. These possibilities are destined to be discovered by human imagination and through the service of others, creating a brighter future for all of us. The Soul of Enterprise is heard live every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Eastern on the Voice America Business Channel and simulcast at the same time on the Voice America Variety Channel.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit voiceamerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
You are tuned in to The Career Confidante with Marie Zimenoff. If you have a question or comment for Marie or her guest today, please call 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. You may also send an email to marie@astrategicadvantage.com. Now, back to The Career Confidante.
Welcome back to the Career Confidante, and today we are talking about Facebook and using Facebook for your job search. So we've talked a little bit about your profile and the content there, making sure that you've put some content into your job sections, and you get there by clicking on your name and then click on About, and you can fill in sections for yourself about your work and education. Make sure your work is in there, that it has a little bit of detail, does not need to be very extensive. A few keywords that help people understand what you do mixed in with conversational tone that speaks to what you enjoy about your jobs. Then as you scroll down, you can put in professional skills, so you can search and find skills there similar to LinkedIn, except for that the search function is kind of built in so that you'll be adding things that other people are using. And then the details about you can put in a brief summary like you'd have in LinkedIn. And then as you scroll down there, check out your photos. Photos of you are things that people have tagged you in, so you can remove tags as you feel like you would like to. And then your photos are things that you've added. So go through especially the photos of you and make sure that they're things that you want included there. And then you can go down and add more of your interests: music, movies, TV shows, books. Books, of course, being a big one for your profession. If there are things that make sense for you to add to your books. And then you might also want to check out your likes, the things that you have liked. What do those say about you? Are those still accurate? Do you still want to like all of those things, etc.? So then you can also, if you keep scrolling, you can look at your groups and manage groups there and see if there's groups that you want to leave. You can hide that section if you don't want people to see it. So you have all of those opportunities there on your page. So that's great, and we can go on there and we can make sure we don't have any bad information. We can try to add some good information that would show someone who we are. But then really it's learning to use LinkedIn as learning to use Facebook as a place to engage. So this is something that some people don't want to do. They don't want to connect with people on Facebook that aren't their immediate friends or family. However, I would say that even if you are connected there only to your immediate friends and family, you can still use it as a place to connect with people. And if you take it one step out, maybe to dealing with people who are your colleagues, you'll have even more power here. But you can do this you can do it in whatever fashion makes sense for you. So just like LinkedIn, you can share content on Facebook that would help people understand more about you, who you are, what your interests are. So you can share content that might be related to your hobbies. You can also share content that might be related to your work if you think it would be kind of something of popular interest. So if you're a software programmer and some company is coming out with some cool new gadget, for instance, those might be things to share with people every once in a while, just so they remember, oh yeah, John's in technology. It's that constant drip of information that has to have some value to the audience, but then also keeps them aware, keeps us top of mind in terms of what we do for them or what we do for a living. Sharing those posts every once in a while about your work. So if you're traveling or doing something interesting or have a peak experience, those are your opportunities to share those things on Facebook and make sure that people know, what you do. And you want about 20% of your Facebook time to be spent kind of sharing your own stuff. So not very often, just a little bit, just enough. if you're sharing something every day on Facebook, then once a week you get to share something more professional or kind of braggadocious about yourself. Otherwise, you're spending 80% of your time interacting, and this is something that I need to work on. But instead of just liking when someone says something or when someone posts something, that we actually comment, right? Commenting, talking, giving the opportunity to have a conversation, build more relationship. Liking is great, and sometimes it may be appropriate or maybe all you feel comfortable doing. But go ahead and comment on that. Start a conversation with that person, interact with them, show them that you're really paying attention, you really care. This can also be an opportunity for you to do some more strategic or structured networking and think about, okay, who is in my network that I really want to stay connected to more deeply? Maybe friends, family, colleagues, former colleagues, whoever it is, who is there that you want to make sure you touch base with frequently. And I just shared an article with my colleagues about this. Someone had written an article talking about an effective way to network, and I thought it was quite brilliant. It is quite structured, but to have a list of those people that you really want to stay in contact with, and that list can really be as long as you want it to be, but then think about, okay, so how many people would you need to contact every day or every week so that you'd get around to everyone about once a quarter? So if you have 30 to 40 people, you contact 2 people a day. In about a quarter, you'd get back around to needing to contact everyone again, if you're only doing weekdays, of course. So that kind of structured networking can be done on Facebook very quickly. You go through that person's posts, and it gives you an opportunity to really make sure you're seeing what they post, because of course Facebook doesn't allow us to see certain things, and kind of creates its own algorithm as to what it's going to show us. So if you really want to stay connected to Jesse, then you have them on your list, and when their name comes up for you to connect with, you go through and look at their specific page and reach out, maybe on their wall or maybe in a private message, and say, hey, it looks like you're doing great, and I see you doing this, or congratulations on that. And it gives you that opportunity to start a connection again, or to keep that connection going. This can take you, maybe 10, 15 minutes a day to reach out to 2 or 3 people on your list and maintain those relationships, so that then when you do have an opportunity that you'd like to talk to that person about or get more information about, or maybe they know someone who works at a company that you want to work at, you have that relationship already there, and vice versa. And perhaps they would have even had the opportunity to ask you for help and give you the opportunity to build that relationship even more. So think about how you can be more structured, and then also thinking about, if you're going to spend 15 minutes on Facebook, maybe you spend 5 minutes doing those directed connections, 5 minutes posting something, either something that's going on in your life or some kind of update, and then 5 minutes going through and seeing what's the latest that you can respond to more real time to keep connections with people. So 15 minutes, 5, 5, and 5, 3 different tasks, your scheduled reach outs, your post of your own, and then a breeze through to see if there's anything that you can comment on to maintain relationships with your network. Shouldn't take you too long. Don't overthink your own post too much. Something within your life you want to share, tidbit or an article that's related to your industry, something that gives people an opportunity to have an authentic connection with you. And you might get better at that as you go. You might have a list of topics that you are willing to share about yourself. And of course, if you don't have something every day, don't force it. But you want to think about how you can regularly interact. Because if you don't post anything and you're just always voyeuring on other people's posts, it's going to be hard for people to engage with you. So we're going to take a short break and come back and wrap this all up for you. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
The business community's first choice in Internet Talk Radio. Voice America Business Network.
You know that the career landscape has changed and that you need to be proactive about managing your career. You can have the foresight, skills, and confidence you need to take charge of your career and seize opportunities. A strategic advantage and career expert, Marie Zimenoff has helped thousands of leaders like you get focused, get found, and get hired. Visit getcareersmart.com to find out more. That's getcareersmart.com or call 800-521-2080 to schedule your complimentary consultation.
How is your company's marketing plan? Could it use a little help? For most businesses, the answer is yes. Tune in each week to Marketing That Won't Break the Bank. Host Janet Kunst and her guests will show you how and where to bring your marketing to the next level. Each show will feature action strategies that you can implement right away and see results. We'll make this easy for you. Start by tuning in every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Business Channel.
Many industries have been revolutionized by technology in the last decade. Books, music, TV, communications, and now it's happening to our money and the way we pay. Tune in to Breaking Banks with Brett King for a look at how technology and customer behavior will bring about more changes in banking in the next 10 years than in the last 200 years. Listen every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific on Voice America Business Channel or on AM 1160 The Voice. You'll never look at your bank account the same again.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You are tuned in to The Career Confidant with Marie Zimenoff. If you have a question or comment for Marie or her guest today, please call 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. You may also send an email to marie@astrategicadvantage.com. Now, back to The Career Confidant.
Welcome back to The Career Confidant. Today we've been talking about Facebook and how you can use it for your job search or more just to build your online brand. So we talked about three distinct things. First was doing the research to find out who's there. Your companies, are your target companies there? How are they using Facebook? Are your industry people there? Do they have groups or anything that they're using to interact? Then we talked about your profile, making sure that your profile is up to date, that there's some information there about what you do, and that it's not cut and paste from your resume and even not cut and paste from your LinkedIn profile. It needs to be even more personable and first person for sure. Short, conversational. Do you have interests? Do you have some of those other pieces that you can add to a Facebook profile there? And then are you using it in some way to maintain your network? So in whatever way it's comfortable for you, making sure that you're connecting to people, you're engaging with people there, on or off the public scene, right? You can use it and engage with people through conversation, perhaps even out of Facebook, although there is more possible of good than bad if you're sharing things that are engaging, but they don't have to be super uber duper personal. So people always share, say, well, I don't want to share where I'm checking in because I don't want anybody to steal things from my house while I'm gone. Well, that's fine. You don't need to do that. Or I don't want to share where I'm going, or I don't want to share pictures of my kids. That's fine. All of those things are fine. So find something that you do want to share. Maybe you are really into golf. You don't necessarily even have to share when you're golfing. You can share pictures later of your golf exploits from that day. You can share articles from people who are golfers and share motivational things. Whatever it might be that is comfortable for you, find those things and start playing around with having some interaction. So you want to share something 5 times a week is great. 3 or 4, good. 1 or 2, better than nothing. Then you want to comment on other people's posts, always being positive, supportive. If someone says something you don't like, Facebook is not the place to try to change someone's mind. It's not going to happen there on Facebook, and it just makes your profile unappealing to other people. And then you want to think about how you can use it to be more strategic in maintaining your relationships. So going through creating a list of those people you really want to stay in touch with, and then being structured in your communications with that list on a regular basis. So Facebook really does provide you an opportunity to connect with people in a less formal way. And this is one of those trends in communications, that this is what people are looking for. You can use it to connect with people. I think that there is some good caution to have in terms of making sure that we are not broadcasting our whereabouts or broadcasting the whereabouts of our children. There are some good cautious steps to take, and then there is a point where you are letting that get in the way of being able to use the tool for what it could be, especially when we are perhaps having our network spread all over the country, right? It makes it easy. And Facebook could even be a way that you use to connect with people, to connect with them in person. And there is, of course, still oodles of value to connecting with people in person. You can still use Facebook as a tool to help you do that. Use Messenger to connect with people, to go and have a coffee. And you say, well, why wouldn't I just call them? Well, you could, but a lot of people don't answer their phone anymore, but they'll answer a text or a messenger right away. And especially if you are in the age group where you're worried about people being concerned about your age, using technology like that can help prove otherwise. In fact, checking out what the employers are doing and using Facebook to connect with them as they have opened any doors for you to do so could be a great way to show that you're up to date with technology and not afraid to poke around and figure out how to engage in a conversation that they may have started there. You still want to be on LinkedIn. I always, love the conversation when we start getting into the either or. LinkedIn is still there. It's still a good place to be. You can spend 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn, 15 minutes a day on Facebook if you're an active job search or really trying to build your brand for some reason. It could be quite effective. Mostly, if you are in job search mode, this is another opportunity for you. It's an opportunity to see if the companies you're looking at are there. It's an opportunity to have a little bit more content in your profiles. Nothing that's going to hurt, so that if people do find you there, they can get a little bit more information on you. You can even link back to your LinkedIn profile. And it is an opportunity for you to connect with people on a different level, on a level that people are craving, that more informal connection, the more authentic connection. So take a little step in that direction. If you've been a voyeur on Facebook for a long time, or perhaps if you post all the time, you might think about that. How can you direct it to build your online brand a little bit more and not just be a place where you're talking to friends and family, but where you have a little bit of your professional presence mixed in so that people know who you are and what you do. You never know what power that might have for you in the future. We'd love your questions, your thoughts, your input. You can always reach me at Marie, M-A-R-I-E, at astrategicadvantage.com. And we look forward to seeing you again right back here on The Career Confidant.
Thank you for listening to The Career Confidant. Marie Zimenoff will return again with another terrific guest next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Business Channel. Be sure to join us then.